Hi, I'm Mary Beth Lynn, your systems and delegation coach, and I love getting to help travel advisors go from overwhelmed to being in control CEOs. I have a bunch of free resources for you as you go through Prep for Wave Week. You can scan the QR code or text the number below. I want to send you a couple really awesome things that are going to help you not be overwhelmed when the wave hits.
Running a travel business can be overwhelming, but imagine if there was a single tool that helped you look professional, stay organized, was easy to use, and affordable. That's just what Travefy does. Travefy gives you the essential tools you need to look like a travel biz pro. Travefy is the most trusted system used by over 30,000 travel brands worldwide. So get started with a system that helps you get back to the joy of planning travel and run your travel business like a pro with Travefy.
Hello, if we've never met before, my name is Korrine Johnson. I'm the creator of Travel Biz Boss and Cruise Business Blueprint, host of the podcast Seven Figure Cruise Business, co-host of the Tin Lounge podcast. Tin stands for Travel Industry News, and an advisor of 18 years. I've sold more than $30 million in travel, and at least 25 of that has to be cruises. Now, the way I built my business was not through constantly hustling for new clients. I feel like that is the path to burnout. So I spent my time pouring into my existing clients and turning them into lifelong clients and super fans who refer me all the time. I built my business this way. I've helped many other advisors build their business this way because I do believe it is the way to build the strongest and most sustainable business. We don't want to be burnt out constantly doing client acquisition. I did it and still do it by providing a consistent and excellent client experience that makes my clients feel like they're working with a partner and not just a vendor. But the question is, how do you do that at scale? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Have you ever bent over backwards for a client and then the next time they're going to book a cruise, they tell you they stopped by Costco and Costco's giving me this and Costco's giving me that? It is brutal, but it happens. It happens to all of us. And the worst part is that we believe that it's our fault. Maybe we didn't do enough when actually it's not about how much you do. It's about what your clients remember about the experience. Remember, you are not selling a cruise. You are selling yourself and what you bring to the experience. And happy clients are not always loyal clients. I've included a couple of quizzes that ideally you will pause this now and do these quizzes to get a kind of a beat on the type of client you are currently attracting and the kind of service you are currently providing to your clients. So if you can, pause the video and take those two quizzes. It's going to help you as we move on. Okay, for the client type quiz, if you got mostly A's, you're attracting clients who value speed and efficiency, but they're not always loyal. If you want to keep them coming back, you'll need to sprinkle in a few extra touches that just build trust and memorability. So try adding a custom port guide to let them know you really care about them and their experience. It can seal the deal. If you got mostly B's, you are doing the most and they're still not satisfied. You've got heart, but these clients can burn you out really quickly. Boundaries and a clear signature process will help filter the right kind of people. One tweak to try is to set clearer expectations up front and use automation to create consistency without 24/7 access. If you got mostly C's, these are the dream clients. Loyal, they're referral monsters.
Hold on a second. That is the secret word for this session. So make sure to write down monsters as your secret word for Korrine's session. Okay, let's get back.
And they're a joy to serve. If you're getting more of these, your brand experience is working. So keep leaning into your signature service and refining what makes you stand out. Pour into these clients. They're your core and can truly help you build your business. Always be thinking about how you can serve these clients better. Second quiz is your travel advisor vibe. Let's see which kind of vibe you're working from right now. This quiz is not about judgment. It's about awareness. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So let's figure out which version of you is currently showing up in your business. If you got mostly A's, you're efficient, straight to the point, and not here for unnecessary fluff. Your clients probably like you, but they may not remember you. And if you want to boost referrals and retention, it's time to weave in just a little bit of wow. Let's be clear. The order taker is a totally valid business model, particularly when you're selling cruises, you can make a lot of money this way. It just may not feel as rewarding or fulfilling. If you got mostly B's, you've got heart, you've got hustle, you're in the grind, and you've got high standards, but you're running on fumes all the time. And I know so many of you fall into this category. You're doing everything to stand out, but somehow it's just not working perfectly and it feels frantic. It's time to lean into templates and automation and showing up with intention. If you got mostly C's, you are blending structure with joy and giving clients something they feel. You've got a recognizable process, repeatable wow moments, and clients who sing your praises. You can relax, just keep doing what you're doing, or you can double down and skyrocket your cruise business. Only one of these advisor types creates a waitlist-worthy business, and I'm going to give you a hint. It is not the person who works the hardest. Now, pause this video and take 2 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, am I offering the kind of experience that I'd want if I was booking a once-in-a-lifetime cruise? Not every cruise is a once-in-a-lifetime cruise, but we need to treat it that way. So just take a moment and ask yourself, am I offering the kind of experience that I would want if I was booking a once-in-a-lifetime trip? Next, I'm going to ask you to pause again, just really quickly for a few seconds, and write down 3 words that you hope that your clients would use to describe working with you. Go ahead, don't overthink it, just write 3 that you would like them to use, ideally, about working with you. Now flip it. What are 3 words you think they'd actually use right now, currently, to describe what it's like to work with you, based on your current client journey? Pause for just another few seconds and write it down. That gap between what you hope they say and what you think they would say, that is the space where there's a lot of growth opportunity. That's what we're going to focus on today. And we're going to try to close that gap. Let's talk numbers. Everybody loves numbers. A satisfied client is 70% more likely to rebook with you, but a delighted client is 300% more likely to rebook with you, but also tell all of their friends, coworkers, family about you. And not just recommend, but tag you on Facebook, email you to their sister, defend you in the comments type of referral. These are super fans. And you know what they don't say in that tag or the DM? They got me the lowest price. Not this time. They say things like, they thought of everything, they made it fun, they made me feel like a VIP. And that's what we're after today. Not just creating a good experience, but a memorable signature experience that does your marketing for you. Next, we're going to map your cruise client journey together and look where you can plug in these signature moments without adding more chaos to your life. Because you don't necessarily need to do more. You need to do the right things more consistently. You need to lean into systems and automations to make them happen without your touch or you manually doing everything. Let's create a cruise experience they'll talk about everywhere. Now that we know that client loyalty isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things in a way that feels effortless to the client and also very repeatable to you, let's zoom out and look at your entire cruise client journey. Not the messy inbox version, the intentional, this is what my brand is known for version. This is where you start feeling like the CEO of a signature cruise business, not just someone constantly playing catch up. Every successful client journey can be broken down into 5 key phases. Think of these like anchors that keep your business consistent no matter how busy you get. First, you want to set the tone with a thoughtful inquiry form to help them clarify their priorities and help you prepare for a consultation call if you decide to have one. I know sometimes when you're a cruise specialist, consultations can just be more of a pain than anything. Your client is often looking for quick information. They don't want to set an appointment, wait for the appointment, have the meeting. They just want information now. However, if you use a cruise-specific inquiry form to help you qualify them specifically for a cruise, it will either A, help you to get them quotes that fit the bill right out of the gate, build the trust and authority, don't alienate them or frustrate them, or it's going to help you show up to that consultation that you scheduled a lot more confident and ready to close the sale. After we get an inquiry form, we want to have a quick reply letting them know we have received that form and what the next steps are. Do you need some more information for them? Are you inviting them to a consultation call? Whatever the next steps are, you want that to be a pretty quick reply once they have submitted a form for you. You want to keep the sales process moving. Then we want to use a proposal method that gets them to a yes faster. I recommend using one of three options. One is for your more personable client who wants to be more collaborative. That would be a live video call where you discuss options and potentially make a decision right there on the call. You're screen sharing, you're showing them the options, you're talking through the pros and cons, and we are getting to a decision. Two would be a beautiful detailed proposal, perhaps using your itinerary builder. Turn, TravelJoy, and Travelify all have great cruise libraries that you can bang out a really fast proposal for your clients. And then what I recommend you do is record a Loom video. There's different products other than Loom, but a video with your little face in a bubble explaining, I chose this cruise because you said XYZ. This ship has this amenity that you mentioned. Connect the dots for them, get in front of a lot of questions. This is going to close that sale faster without a ton of back and forth. And then for clients like me who need all the information to make a quick decision, I like a one pager. Many consortia offer a tool to help you do like a side-by-side comparison that you can send to clients that has all the essential information: cruise line, dates, itinerary, price, cabin type. That's what I like, and some of your clients may like that too, especially if they're experienced cruisers. In any case, you always want to make sure you're giving them the option to take action and move this process forward. And I know this is a quick overview, but if you want to listen to a deep dive into these three different proposal types, you can find my podcast called Seven Figure Cruise Business. It's on Spotify and Apple. Season 2, episode 1, and I think it was published on March 2025. You can go take a listen to that, where I dive a lot more in depth into how I do that. And that is my cruise focused podcast if you want to give it a listen. Booking confidence and clarity. Let's give them that I'm in good hands moment. You could add something fun to the invoice that makes them happy to pay it, something like a line item that says, making memories with my loved ones priceless and the cost is zero. Just a little something to punch it up. Rest and relaxation, priceless, $0, whatever it is, just a little something fun. And then you always want to confirm with a detailed email, not just a receipt. We want a congratulations, you are officially booked on your celebrity cruise or your Silversea cruise or whatever it is. And I also like to include some links and things for them to explore to kind of keep the excitement of the planning going. It doesn't just end at that deposit and now we're not doing anything until it's time to take the cruise. So always have a pretty detailed, you are officially booked and here's what to expect next email to go out. Then we have our pre-departure anticipation. This is where you can really make your mark. You do not want to ghost your clients between deposit and departure. You want to stay top of mind, not only to make the client feel comfortable and trusting and know that you're taking care of them, also to be top of mind so that when they are at a party and someone starts talking about a cruise, they're going to be like, I got somebody. You're going to love it. Here's their contact information. So we just want to kind of stay top of mind for that client with some touch points. Building excitement equals building retention. If you make this whole process feel easy and seamless, they're never going to look anywhere else to book their cruise. Consider doing timed automation touch points that always let them know what they should be thinking about now and what is coming next. They will love you if you just let them relax, enjoy the anticipation, knowing you're going to remind them every step of the way. I do all the way down to do your out of office, set your thermostat, stop your mail, like almost every single thing you could possibly think of. My clients don't even barely have to fire up their brain. You could also do a packing guide that's customized to their travel party. So if it's like 2 adults and 2 teens or toddlers or whatever it is, you can use AI to create a customized packing list rather than a generic one. You could also do a fully customized guide with ideas of what to do in all of the ports on their cruise. And I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. And another one I like to do is use AI to generate some trivia for the destination or the ship or local food guides. You can load easily into a Google Map and make something really customized in about 5 minutes, maybe 10. Well, you may not be on the ship, but your presence still can be. Obviously, you should send a bon voyage email with tips for embarkation, like a day 2 check-in message just to see how things are going. You could do a surprise amenity through the cruise line. I know that this can be controversial buying gifts for clients, and I fully understand if that's not your strategy. And I also think that if you do it strategically and thoughtfully, it can be a way to really stand out in your client's mind. So if I have a family traveling, I'll put something in the cabin for the kid, like a stuffed animal or something, because when you have families and you make it fun for the kids, the parents are going to be clients for life. That's the way to the parents' heart. Be thoughtful, be strategic if you want to do something like that. Just a $50 onboard credit is not really going to be memorable. But if there's something you can do to stand out, that's the way to go. I know I've heard many advisors say, my lawyer doesn't give me a gift, my accountant doesn't, and that's totally fair. It is totally fair and totally valid. Again, if you have something thoughtful, it doesn't have to be expensive, that you can add to the experience to make them remember you, it can be a smart strategy. And then after that cruise, do not ghost your best leads. This is your referral and rebooking window. By the way, even before this, I do send out an email personally encouraging clients to rebook Onboard, because I get the credit and the onboard salesperson does all of the work of closing the sale, and all I have to do is service it. It feels like passive income to me. So I do always encourage that. But if they don't book Onboard, make sure you're following up. I think a handwritten thank you note is very nice. It's very nice, but it is not necessarily that memorable. Thank you video might be a little bit more memorable and feel a little bit more like connection, or even just a voice message. So it just feels like you and not just something written. That's a good idea. Obviously, sending an email asking for feedback and referrals, very, very important. If I'm going to send a gift, this is actually often when I will do it to signify the ongoing relationship. I do not do this consistently, but again, if there's something that makes sense that I feel like is going to make that connection stronger, I will do it. And then I have emails that go out at 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. I don't fully automate these, but I do have templates that all I have to do is personalize and send them out. So it's a very quick process. I don't automate them because, number one, what if they already got in touch with me? That might be weird and awkward. And also, same thing with when you're onboarding a client. This is the relationship building or rebuilding phase. So we want to keep that really personal. I want to go over just a few examples of some of the things I talked about that should be part of your client experience. And let's start with the cruise specific inquiry form that's going to help us thoroughly qualify the client. Whether we are jumping right into getting options or we're scheduling a consultation, we can do so with confidence. I'm just using my Travel Joy versions, but we've got versions for Turn and Travify too. They all work great for these purposes. I just like to ask some cruise specific questions as well as some general ones. One of the things that's important to me is to find out if they're a foodie and which food options are most exciting to them. That's going to help me match them to the right cruise line. Another thing I like to do is be a little thoughtful about how I describe the cabin options. I don't just want to say suite, balcony, ocean view inside. I want to make it feel a little more exciting to choose which option and also help kind of paint the picture. Just remember one thing too, remember to ask if anyone in the party is pregnant or planning to become pregnant, because that can get a little dicey if that happens later on. Try to think of a few ways to get to the nitty gritty of the things you need to know to book a cruise. Then, like I mentioned before, you want to send an email saying you are officially booked and here are some things for you to explore. This is my princess deposit email. And so I've given them a few links to explore. We got the QR code for the app, just a few extra things, and I attach this to the invoice. Then this is a 60-day and counting. And by the way, you'll see there's different fonts in the headers, and that's because with Travel Biz Boss, we offer 2 different styles depending on the branding. You would just have one or the other. I don't recommend mixing them. This is just short, sweet. Here's what you need to be thinking about and what's next. I'm going to be sending you some pre-cruise money tips soon. They always know what they should be doing now and what to expect next. And then one of those exciting touch points that I talked to you about where you could use AI to create something like this is a ship guide specifically based on the family, the ages of the kids. I've put in some of their interests. And what I did was I used ChatGPT and then I put it into Gamma. And I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit once we do the port guide, although now I have switched to putting the prompt directly into Gamma. And I haven't tried that for a ship guide yet, but you may want to follow that example that we'll do. Now, something like this, you have to do manually because you have to use a prompt and put in who the clients are, what their interests are. I'll show you that later. But emails like your 60-day, 30-day money tips, bon voyage, even your welcome home. I do recommend personalizing welcome home, but I know I won't do it, so I've automated it. You have to know yourself. Emails like this for trip prep can be fully automated if you have a system like Turn, TravelJoy, or Travify. That is one way that you're able to offer this really consistent client experience without having to touch everything. You can use these automations so that no matter what's going on in your life, your clients get their trip prep emails. It doesn't matter if you're feeling sick, if you're taking a vacation, if you're on an overnight flight, if it's a holiday, whatever it is, you can trust that your clients are going to get these touch points and make sure they're prepared for their cruise. Delivering a standout client experience doesn't mean you have to work harder. It means you have to work smarter and more intentionally. At the end of the day, people don't remember the invoice. They remember how you made them feel during this process. And if you can deliver that consistently, you will never worry about sales again. Now that we have mapped out the journey, let's zoom in on what you could use as a signature moment, that little wow factor that makes you unforgettable. My question to you is, what are you known for? Think about your favorite restaurant, coffee shop. What makes it your favorite? It's probably not just the food or the coffee. It's the vibe. It is the playlist. It is the way they remember your order, the way they make you feel. It all comes down to the way you feel when you're there. Now think about your travel business. What is one thing your clients associate with you? That thing they tell their friends about, the thing they cannot find on Expedia. That's your signature moment. And today we're going to name it and claim it. I would like you to pause the video again, take a moment and write down the answer to this question. What do I want to be known for in my client's mind? This isn't about perfection or performance. It's about creating a brand of service that is uniquely yours, something that no template can replicate. Just take a moment, pause, and write down a few notes, whatever comes to mind. What do you want to be known for in your clients' minds? Here's the thing. People don't remember everything you do. They usually remember one or two moments that delight or surprise them. And if you can make those moments feel consistent, intentional, and 100% you, that's how you're going to stand out. That's how you become referable, memorable, and a money-making machine. Here are some examples, but please listen to me when I say, do not tell yourself you need to do all of these things. One or two moments is enough. I'm just throwing out some ideas for you. The fully personalized port guide or ship guide. I'm going to go over how to create the port guide in a minute. A personalized map based on their interests. Could be a food map, could be a photography map, any other hobby they may like, architecture, whatever. It's easy to make because of AI. Giving their kids a scavenger hunt for the trip, or like I mentioned before, a trivia game. You could do, if you like a more tangible thing rather than a digital, you could do a gift box. You can order branded boxes. You can ask your clients to film the unboxing. Again, thoughtful gifts presented beautifully, maybe a cultural immersion kind of a gift box. You could do a Starbucks digital gift card that you send right when they arrive at the airport. You could do travel journal kits for kids or tweens with prompts, stickers, and destination facts. Another gift card option would be to do an Uber Eats gift card when they arrive home so they don't have to think about what's for dinner. You could do pre-scheduled texts that are like magic hour alerts. You could remind them to go catch a sunset. One thing I remember in Nice, France, I was so disappointed on my way back to the ship. All the bakeries were closed, so I did not get to get my croissant in France. That would be a nice one in the morning. Be like, hey, don't forget to get your croissant on the way out. When you're on your way back to the ship, those bakeries are going to be closed. You can use AI to help you think of these cute little tidbits. You could do secret challenge prompts. Now, this could be delivered digitally, or you could have some cards printed if you want to. This is like things to discover, try, or photograph that day, kind of like a mini bingo for families. And then another one I love is micro stations, like a little itinerary for like foodies or detail-oriented travelers that are cute little things to not miss, like the best bench to eat gelato or a bookstore where a cat lives. Just fun little things for people who maybe want something a little less cookie cutter and they like sweet little moments like that. Your signature does not have to be expensive. It can. Getting branded boxes and putting together cultural immersion, that's a little pricier. It's an option. You could do something digital for absolutely free. It just needs to be thoughtful, on brand, and repeatable for you. Do me a favor, pause this video and just jot down any ideas that have come to your mind. As I was listing out those options, write down the ones that stood out to you and anything else that may have popped up in your mind so that you don't forget. Let's design one digital option today. This is something you can start using this week. We're going to do a custom port guide for a family that I made up. I have logged into Gamma AI. I do have the paid version of this, but there is a free version that's pretty robust. You could definitely start with the free version and see where it takes you, but this makes generating pieces like this so easy. So I want to show it to you. What I did was I logged in and then I clicked on Create New. And where I'm going to go from here is I want to click generate. And then I'm going to choose document. I like the way the document looks. I'm going to paste in my prompt. What I've said here, everything that's in bold is what you would want to replace with whatever applies to your client. You are an expert European travel guide with extensive knowledge of the Mediterranean. I need your help creating a comprehensive travel guide for a family of 4. Joe and Carmen are the parents. Hayden is 10 and Jack is 14. I actually, if the names are ambiguous, sometimes you might want to just go ahead and put the gender in. They are cruising on Celebrity Ascent on 9/8/2025. They love exploring and outdoor activities like hiking. For each port, provide a brief overview of the destination's unique features. Suggest 3 to 4 family-friendly activities, including at least one off-the-beaten-path option. Please include options that are shore excursions celebrity offers for this cruise. Recommend 2 to 3 local treats or dishes they must try. Offer 1 to 2 practical tips specific to cruise passengers, like transportation and time management. Mention any specific considerations for Hayden and Jack. Format your response with clear headings for each port and use bullet points for easy readability. Prioritize authentic experiences that showcase the local culture and natural beauty of each destination. Please ensure all recommendations are current and suitable for a cruise ship's limited port time. Please use names to personalize where appropriate. This is key. We want this family to know that this port guide was written just for them. This is not a generic port guide. Then it's weird, it says edit prompt, but it kind of just takes you to the next page. And you can edit here. Here you want to adjust preferences as you wish. You do want to keep generate here. I would not change this. If you were putting in exactly what you wanted, you would put preserve, but in this case, keep it at generate. I like detailed. You can make it more concise or minimal if you want to. And who it's written for is great. The tone, you can change this if you want to. And then you want to pick your theme, and that's it. We're going to click generate. I'm just going to get out of the way and let you watch this work. As you're watching this, notice that they're calling the kids out by name, which is huge again. I also would encourage you to make a duplicate of this and change the names so that you could post it on social media to let people know the kind of support that you offer your clients. This is a great marketing tool. These look amazing on a phone. The other thing I want to point out is you need to double check. You know how AI is. Sometimes she's delusional. You need to make sure these are the right ports. You can always go in and tweak things if you need to, but let it rip and then go back and Just double check for accuracy. If you have personal knowledge of something you would like them to try in a port, add that, please. Those things that are your personal knowledge make a huge difference. This is just going to give you a good start, especially if you haven't been there. I asked it to add any considerations for Hayden and Jack the kids, and it is coming through. Now, keep in mind the free version, there's a maximum of, I think, 10 cards per gamma, so it might be a little more limited, but use the free until it falls off the wheels and you know you need to upgrade. I'm the worst at upgrading things before I need to, and it isn't always necessary. So just try it with the free version, see how far you get. I wish I could see you all, because my favorite thing in the world is to watch people's faces when they see this generating. It's very fun. This is something that once you get the hang of it, it's a few minutes. Easy to outsource to a VA as well. This is not something you need to do yourself. Just need to make sure you double check the information. This is pretty long. I'm curious to know what it would look like if we did the concise version. So I would play with it. Use the same prompt. Try the detailed and then try the concise and see which one you think works better. And that can depend on the client too. For me, if I'm your client, you better give me the concise one. But some people love digging into all this. This is so much fun. This is something you can send. I usually do it 5 or 6 months out when it's time to really start thinking about excursions. It's before final payment, so you're not ghosting them between deposit and final, and you're giving them something really juicy to sink their teeth into. Okay. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I do want to show you a couple things. Well, I didn't need to scroll like that. I'm sorry if that made you nauseous. I would probably make this title a little nicer, like you can change to a heading. I would name it something else. But I just want to show you this. You can edit at the document level. This is the whole thing. I'm going to say, please remove all dashes. Okay, M dashes are a dead giveaway that you used AI. I always like to remove those. But I also want to show you in each card, there is also this little starburst. You can edit at the card level as well. You can ask it to try a new layout and it'll suggest a different layout. You can also manually edit anything you want. This can take you down a real crazy rabbit hole. Try not to get too carried away. This is impressive as it is. Done is better than perfect. However, you can manually edit. You can use AI to edit at the card level. A card is basically a section, or you can go up here and ask it to edit the entire thing. Just keep in mind that there's a lot that you can do. Now it's time to design your signature moment. And there's a worksheet included to help you kind of break all of this down. It is fillable. You can also print it. I meant to say that at the beginning. You know, if you know me, you know I hate paper. I really like to keep things digital. But that is here for you. You want to take a few minutes and consider, what do you want your signature moment to be? It does not have to be anything I have shown you. It could be something totally different. If I have sparked a different idea, get creative, then jot down your notes. You want to know when in the journey is this going to happen? Like I said, for me, it's 5 or 6 months out, usually 5 months out. Honestly, that's where I have it in my workflow. It's something you want to add to your workflow to say, 5 months out, do this. What is the emotion? What do you want the client to feel when they receive this? How are you going to deliver it? Is it by email, video? Is it physical mail? Is it a surprise gift on board? Whatever your signature moment is. What makes this uniquely you? And how can you make it easy and repeatable? Just having everything systematized, templatized, repeating the same prompt, but then switching out the information that is pertinent to that specific client. Is there a form you're going to send them to get their interest first? How can you make this all easy and repeatable and potentially outsourceable would be great. You don't need a whole marketing campaign to stand out. You need one unforgettable moment that reflects who you are and how you care. You can't tell me that if you make a port guide like that for your client that is calling them out by name, giving considerations for the kids, that they're not going to show people. They're going to show their coworkers. They're going to show their friends. You won't believe, look what my travel advisor made for me. This is going to stick in their memory and they are going to be showing it to other people, which makes it a win-win all around. When you create something that feels like you attract clients who love what you love, refer people like they are, which are the joyful clients that we love, and they stick around for the long haul. 1 or 2 wow moments is all it takes to create a super fan. They are not going to be sniffing around Costco travel or anywhere else. They're just going to come straight back to you every single time. You're not just in the cruise business, you are in the connection business. Make that your brand. Scaling usually just means smarter systems, consistent wow, and not doing more. We don't need to do more. We need to just have everything in a system so we can follow the process. When you combine automation with unforgettable touches, you will never worry about sales again. If you would like to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at TravelBizBoss. You can also email me at hello@travelbizboss.com. I hope to see you soon.